Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well today. It is Apex here with another market sector analysis. So the broader market sector saw a nice gap up open today with good bull follow through. So that's 2 days in a row we saw gap up opens with follow through. However, today we saw a lot more bullishness than yesterday. Yesterday was more of a dip to rip. Today was just all bulls, making steady higher lows and highs on the 15-minute chart here. We can zoom in on the 5-minute chart and see bulls maintain control throughout the entire session. A little bit of selling coming in the last 15-minute candle here, but all in all, very impressive day for the bulls. The new pivot high that we are watching was today's high of 384.79, and yesterday we had noted that this January 15th level could be our short-term pivot low if the bulls see good follow through from that level, and we sure enough did. So we were looking on the hourly chart to see if we could spot an hourly trend change. This higher low, higher high setup here could indicate one. I was saying yesterday it was not defined enough. I would have liked to see a little bit more pullback on the hourly chart. That's more of a 15-minute trend change. But based off the size of this move anyway, whenever we pull back, the most likely outcome is going to be a higher low. And then we can confirm that daily bounce, but that's been pretty much established with today's price action. So these are the new levels that the SPY, bulls, and bears are fighting over. We are still watching this channel that I had mentioned a few sessions ago. So copy the channel over, move it down to the lower section, line it up well with wicks. So we will be approaching that level right around that 387, possibly up to 390, depending on how long it takes to get to that trend line. So keep an eye on that. The dollar seeing a little bit of pullback, bit of an upper wick today. Bulls still need to break this pivot high of 90.9 and defend the two pivot lows of 89.92 and 89.20. QQQ, similar look to SPY, big gap up open, and the bulls ran with it all day today. We see increasing bull volume here. New pivot high that the bulls need to break is today's high of 324.74, and the low that they need to defend is 310.58. It's the exact same story as SPY. Was not sure if we would count this as a new pivot if we rolled over. The main pivot that I was watching yesterday was January 4th's low, but based off the follow through that we've seen from this level, it is conclusive that we have indeed seen a significant bounce. Same story again, where I did not know if this pivot was going to really constitute a hourly trend change and daily bounce, but the size of this move so far indicates any pullback will likely be bought up, confirming that hourly trend to the bulls. IWM, a little bit of a weaker day today, which is surprising considering how strong IWM has been. Formed a doji candle, increasing bull volume. Now we can really start to see this this ascending wedge playing out. So not as good as I would have thought, but it is still there. Similar channel to SPY. It's similarly drawn as a channel as is SPY. But we can see this pattern roughly on the hourly chart. Something to watch for, directional clarity. But on the daily chart, pivot high that the bulls need to break is today's high of 215.98, and the pivot low that they need to defend is 208.26. SMH had a bit of a pullback day, which is surprising because QQQ had a really great day. So QQQ saw that gap up open and the bulls ran with it. SMH, gap up open, and the bears dumped. So like I was saying for a little while, we are quite overextended after breaking out of this pennant. Could use a significant daily pullback, but still keeping that uptrend. Right now, we can look at this pivot low here, where we've made a bit of a triple bottom at 232.50. You see about 3 sessions out of 4 respecting that pivot low. And the pivot high that the bulls need to break is today's high of 246.79, approaching that 250 psychological level. So it makes sense that we're seeing a little pullback. RSI is quite overextended. So we will wait and see what the bulls can do moving forward. TAN, pretty neutral day today. Seeing a little bit of follow through over yesterday's high. Main pivot that the bulls need to break is at 123.66, and the pivot low that they need to defend is at 106.88. So we still haven't confirmed that hourly trend change. See a nice move up. Maybe you can count this if we see good follow through over this pivot high tomorrow or this week. We could count that as an hourly trend change. But ideally, I would like to see a little bit of a pullback and a clear break of a pivot high. So we'll see what happens as the week progresses. Setting up very nicely though here. I like looking at the extended hours chart on this ticker. So obviously the highs don't match up perfectly, as this includes the extended hours, but we can see very nice price action development, impulse moves up, brief pullbacks. So let's see if the bulls can muster another impulse move to the upside. XLV, a lot of strength today. Confirming this daily bull flag, new pivot high for the bulls, 118.69, and pivot low, 115.83. Nice to see this bull flag have confirmation, good bull volume, not a lot of selling going into this move. So 120 on deck. XLF, so a little bit of a, looks like it's having actually a bit of a rollover look to it. So we have a strong move down, weak bounce, and maybe we're heading for some more downside. We can see increasing bull volume, or increasing bear volume, decreasing bull volume in this consolidation, which helps support the hypothesis of a potential move to the downside. So the bulls need to defend this pivot low here of 30.49 and ultimately break the pivot high of 31.62. And XBI, a little bit of weakness coming into that break of the all-time high that was set on the 15th. So the pivot high that the bulls need to break is today's high of 156.67. And considering we have seen some significant bounce since this pivot low of 145.75, we can count that as our interim pivot low. Clear price action on the hourly chart. We see an impulse move, higher highs and lows throughout. So we'll be looking to see if that continues throughout the rest of the week. Volume looks okay for the bulls, but any pullback will likely to catch a bounce, possibly, I should say not likely, possibly around this pivot high juncture that was set at the end of December. But all in all, doing all right. So we're going to do something a little bit different today. I'm going to start incorporating some individual ticker name breakdowns over YouTube. So I won't go over any of the ones that we've been watching during the last couple sessions in this video, but tune in for the upcoming ones, as there will be plenty of information to come. I hope you guys all enjoyed the video and had a great day trading. I'll talk to you tomorrow.